Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Boys. This is episode 226. I'm Mike,
I'm Colin.
and yeah, today we're gonna talk about the most anticipated 21 Pilots related album of the year, um, uh, and we're gonna rank some songs from Blurryface Reborn, as probably is in the title. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but that's probably what I'll call it. Yeah, rank some songs, tier list style, give thoughts and opinions, because we do that around here. But um,
We're
uh,
bored to do.
exactly. But how was your week, Colin?
The week was all right. Just been working and playing games and such. It's been a scorcher this week. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And it's been real rough in the McDonald's world. Just being inside of that restaurant.
Uh-huh.
Because
How's the AC in there?
not great.
Awesome.
Not great. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And being in the hole, you would think that which is where you take money in orders, as I've stated many times, back cash, whatever you want to call it, it's there and it's square and it's a hole and it's not very air conditioned. So when when you're opening the window constantly and all the heat's coming off of the car and there's no air in the hole, you're just sweating. You're just sweating to death back there, which is great. And then people just be like, "Yeah, it's a hot one out here, huh?"
As you're like drenched.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's pretty bad. And the oddly enough, the only area in the back where it's like nicely air conditioned is like right above the grill, which I was in the kitchen a couple times this week, initiating, which is like putting buns on the toaster and like getting the sandwiches ready to put meat on them and stuff.
Yeah.
And that spot is like right where that stream of air is coming out, so it's like, oh yeah. But like the front is not very air conditioned, the hole is not air conditioned, the lobby is, because got to keep the customers comfortable. But yeah, no, it's just been I've been drenched with sweat this week, for sure. Which hasn't been fun, but work's been fine otherwise. Nothing too crazy. Probably a couple asshole customers, but what else is new?
Yeah. Sounds par for the course.
Yeah, literally. And but it's been okay otherwise. Hung out with my friends Ricky and Garrison on Monday. It was Monday. We went, just went around. I went to a pawn shop for the first time, which was pretty cool. And they had some cool stuff. They had some like old games and lots of old like CRT TVs.
Is it like in town, and is it like gaming themed?
It's not gaming themed.
Okay.
But I do know the shop you're talking about.
Yeah, just because our buddy Dane likes that place. I remember him talking about it. Yeah.
I went there with Zane once. And,
right.
And they moved locations recently, so it's like it's by like a DQ now, if you remember.
Yeah,
also,
I remember
that sushi place we go to.
Yes.
We tried to go there as well, but we out to the door, the open sign was like lit up, and then the hours were like closed on Mondays. So I was like, oh well.
Someone forgot to turn the sign off, I guess. I don't
know. But yeah, pawn shop was cool. Saw some cool old stuff. There was like there's just like there was a whole big section with like a ton of guitars and and microphones and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's sick as hell. There were some really cool guitars and
Yeah.
everything. Um, and they had like some gaming PCs that were like pretty fairly priced in there as
Mm.
well. It's like, for a pawn shop, I was expecting it to be kind of, you hear pawn shop and you think like shitty, worn down stuff, but
Right.
you go in and it's like, wow, all this stuff looks pretty pristine, not very dusty or anything. But a pretty cool place, um, and then last prior to that, we on a Friday night we played some Peak. Me, you,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
Vanessa, and Emily. We played some Peak, and that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you don't know what Peak is, dear listener, it's a new
It's peak.
game where it is Peak, where you just climb mountains with friends and try not to fall off or get poisoned or get
Mm-hmm.
too hungry or
It has a
um,
similar stamina system to like Breath of the Wild,
mhm,
but it's like first person climbing, different map every day. Pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we it was made especially funny by Emily's microphone.
Yeah.
Uh, it was peaking for sure. It was really funny. She would scream and it would sound like a deep fried meme type
Yeah.
thing.
That
Uh,
that moment of her falling off the cliff or whatever. That's just that's gonna be one of my favorite memories of that
it's so good.
game. Yeah.
Um, but then I've played it a few times since
Hmm.
Friday. I played with Ricky and Garrison on Monday, and Ricky made it to the peak,
Oh,
which
did he?
was pretty cool. Yeah, we there's 5 stages or so, and
There's five?
it's
Shit. Okay.
yeah, uh, and the jungle is the hardest one for
Really?
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess not to spoil too much, but I played a little bit with my friends, and then I also did a run by myself. And we
Mm.
did, I think we only did four, but I would say like I mean, I guess the jungle one is pretty difficult, but like the volcano one, it's not. I mean, I don't
No,
know. I don't know.
it wasn't that one wasn't easy either. But like in
Yeah.
terms of just like all the hazards and stuff in the
Yeah.
jungle, like all the thorns and the poison and everything. Like there's just so much.
True. The
Um,
rain's
and the
also a
rain.
lot.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. But he made it to the peak, and it was pretty cool. I managed to survive most of the way. I just like I did not have enough stamina to get up the through the middle of the volcano, and I
Hmm.
just I died. But I watched him make it, and that was good enough for me.
Yeah.
And I got achievements for it anyway, so it's not that
That
big a
oh,
deal.
there you Oh, the achievements are for everyone? Let's go.
Mhm. Um, but that was fun. I've played it a little bit by myself as well, and
Mm.
I listening to an album this morning. I made it to the snowy area alone, but
Mm.
it's pretty cool. It's fun. It's a
That
great game.
that actually does seem like a good game to listen to music to. I didn't
Mhm.
consider that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but that was cool. I watched more King of the Hill. I played more of the Indiana Jones game. Both fun. Um, I I listened to a few things this week. I listened to because of Mike the Snare's most recent
Mm.
deep discog dive. I checked out What's the Story Morning Glory by Oasis,
Mm-hmm.
and I like it a lot. It's really good. Um, it's very he talked about the fact that like the Oasis would not exist without the Beatles having existed,
Yeah.
and that's very obvious within that album.
Hmm.
There's like a lot of like cool kind of orchestral weird kind of production choices that feels like late stage Beatles a little bit. um and it's cool. They got a cool energy. It's loud. It's it's bombastic.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I like it a lot. Um, and then
Yeah.
I would recommend it. I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the
Um,
way you described it sounds like something up my alley. But
mhm.
yeah.
And then I decided to revisit an album that I haven't listened to in almost a decade,
Oh.
which is fucking crazy. It's that old already, but I had a little phase in like 2016 after it released. I was listening to it at the gym and with my dad, and I was listening to it just like for fun. But it was the Getaway by the Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Mm.
um, which is their 2016 album. I had a little phase with it. I was a little bit into Red Hot Chili Peppers at that time, but it hasn't really stuck with me. Um, but I was looking at album of the year, and I was looking at their scores and stuff, and just how many albums they have
Yeah.
on there. I was like, oh man, I saw the Getaway had like it was in like the 60s, like the high 60s for both critic and user scores,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, I remember that being pretty good. Oh yeah, I got to check it out. And it's got it's got the same. I have the same pretty much the same feelings as I did prior, 10 years ago. Obviously, it's like I can point out some of the flaws in it more than I could back then. Um, but it's got that Red Hot Chili Peppers funk.
Mm-hmm.
Flea on the bass is insane, and
Of course.
um, it's got just the way that their lyrics go throughout Red Hot Chili Peppers are just like weird and kind of out there, and it adds a cool energy to it. And I still enjoy that quite a bit. And it was pretty much a it felt like a first listen a little bit just because I haven't listened to it in so long.
Right.
But there were certain moments where I was like, oh yeah, this song kind of rules. There's a song on there called I think it's Robot Love or something like I think it's Robot Love. Hold
Mr.
on,
Robot. Go. Oh wait, there's two songs. There's Sick Love and then there's Go Robot.
Go Robot. That's it.
Okay. You combine
And
two.
it's really fucking weird. And he's
Yeah.
just talking about how much he wants to fuck a robot.
Oh.
It's like one of the
Forward
lyrics is
thinking.
like, yeah, I want to thank you and spank you upon your silver skin. Robots don't care where I've been. And it's it's just like super weird and silly.
Yeah.
And honestly, the production is on that song is just really fun anyway. But it's still a fun album. I still really enjoy it. Um, but there's some stuff that gets lost in the sauce here,
Yeah.
especially towards the end of the album. You can see kind of the streams go way down from the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But there's good stuff in there, and I enjoy it a lot. But it was cool to revisit. And then
Cool.
and then the last thing I listened to was Virgin by Lord, which released last night.
Mm-hmm.
And did you listen to it?
Yes, yeah, I have.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about it in music news, or do you want to just like talk about it
Uh
now?
yeah, sure we could. We also have to do monthly roundup today. I forgot to mention that to you. But uh yeah, we can I don't really have too much to say about it. At least on
Yeah.
first listen. Um
Yeah.
but up to you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we can save it then.
Okay.
But I like it. I'll say that.
Cool.
Um, but yeah, it's basically my week. Probably gonna go actually look at the that old vintage game shop that we talked about a little
Hmm.
later and hang out with Ricky and Ashley. But it's a pretty all right week. Just been hot as hell. But
Yes, it
how
has.
was your week?
Week was hot, as you have said. But
Mhm.
you know, it's been an all right week. I do have more to go with it into this week because I think I mentioned on here, but we do have mandatory overtime stuff for work happening. So I will be going into work tomorrow as well from 3 to 11 on a
Ooh.
Saturday. On a Saturday. But you know, I will be making like 30 bucks an hour for
Hey.
uh it's about 7 hours of, well, like 6.5 hours of that shift. So that'll be nice, I guess. But still don't want to do it. So yeah, I still got 2 more days of work as we're talking here, when usually I'm like, hey, it's the end of the week. But you know, is what it is. But you know, it was fine. I got a free taco at work. Well, I should clarify, I haven't gotten the taco yet, but I have a voucher for a free taco from a taco shop inside of a gas station right next to our work. And don't know how to feel about that, but you know, it was like they asked me like they were doing like a raffle thing, and then you could like spin a wheel. If I don't know, it was needlessly complicated a bit, but they asked me like a safety question. They're like, if you get hurt while working, who do you report to? And I'm like, the line lead, the person in charge. And
Yeah.
they're like, that's correct. I'm like, okay. And they gave me a little raffle ticket, and I got to spin a. Or no. They gave me a raffle ticket, and then they gave me like this little scratch off thing, and then like if you scratch it off, if you got three in a row, you could spin the wheel. And I got three in a row of something, so I spun the wheel, and it said free taco, and they gave me a voucher, the voucher for the free taco. I didn't win anything from the raffle card, so it just needlessly complicated a bit, but whatever, it's fine. I will maybe I'll get that taco tomorrow. I don't know, we'll see. It's the place closes at 9 p.m. though, so I can't get it after work. It's got to be
Right.
right before. So hopefully it's not too greasy. um, but we'll see. Um, but other than that, it's been fine because we work with like chocolate stuff. It's not like overly hot. Where we are in a warehouse, which I think in terms of warehouse work, that's a pretty good deal. Like I still sweat quite a bit, and it feels warmer in there than usual, but it's not like, uh, you know, it's not like I feel like I'm overheating or anything like that. So that's, I guess, somewhat nice. But stacking boxes, doing all that. That's me nowadays, stacking boxes. But I was talking I just wanted to bring up this one thing that happened last night. I was talking with that guy who kind of reminds me of Justin from the deli. Like a, just stoner type or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
and he was the somehow we got onto the topic a little bit of politics. Um, and he was like saying like, yeah, man, I'm a big Trump guy, really like him or whatever. I remember what we were talking about. Somehow we got on the topic of ICE or whatever. um and then he was like, this is like literally a sentence he said out loud to me. Yeah, they're tearing families apart, which is like really fucked up, but I think Trump is doing the right thing. And it's like, whoa, that's a combination of words to put into one sentence. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's I don't know, man. That was kind of crazy. And then also he was trying to legitimately tell me, it was like, oh, did you hear that Illinois became a red state? And I was like, hmm, hmm. I was like, that doesn't sound right. I'm pretty sure I said that. He's like, yeah, man. I was like, for the presidential election, and he was like, yeah, yeah. If you look at a map of the state, man, like all of it's red except for this, just the little bit blue at the top of the cities. I'm like, oh boy. I'm surprised he was
Oh,
telling me that, like, just dead ass. I'm like, well, yeah, it's where everyone lives. um, um,
nobody lives in those areas, my
hmm
guy.
I was
There.
like, yeah, but and I was saying like that's why people say things like, land doesn't vote, people vote, because 20
Yeah.
20 people live in most of the red areas. um and yeah, I mean, he wasn't like hardcore politics guy. And I
Uh,
think he even said something like, hey, I'm not going to get in a political argument with you or anything like that. Or he doesn't seem like he cares too much, if that's not evident. But yeah, it was just a couple entertaining sentences there where it's like, damn, people be thinking these things. That's crazy. Yeah, so that's something, I guess. But other than work stuff, last Saturday, we went to go. We mentioned I mentioned it before, but we went to a ramen place that was like really really fucking good. Like last year, I want to say. Um, and I was craving that, so we went up there again, me and my neighbors. Yeah, I got some spicy ramen on a day that was 90 degrees. Which the ramen was very good, but oh boy, I think that's the first time I've like legitimately sweat while eating something. Um, like I had one napkin for my mouth and one napkin for my forehead, and I
Damn.
did not want to mix the two up. But um, it was really good though. It did have some kick to it, but just that place they like stack in the ingredients in there, and they put like good seafood stuff in there. Like it's not just like they do have a little bit of fake shrimp, but they also got real shrimp in there, and they got like I think there's a little bit of oyster, no, not oyster. A little bit of scallop, a little bit of like squid, a little bit of whatever. It's like this really really good seafood mix, um, and a bunch of veggies, and then some meat in there too. It's a really good bowl of ramen, man. I really love that. And Yeah, we did that, and then also there was a family party that we hosted on Saturday that I missed the beginning of because I really wanted to get ramen. But It was a party for my parents' anniversary, and they just had a bunch of people coming over. But setting up, we had to set up the house and clean it and all that kind of stuff. So that was a whole adventure. But there was a lot of food there, and I got to visit with some people that I hadn't seen in a while. So that was nice. But pretty chill for the most part. I'm trying to think if there's anything super significant that happened at that party. Um, Other than catching up with people, which that's boring to talk about, but interesting in the moment. But yeah, no, I think that's
Yeah.
about about it. But also, we were swimming over the weekend because of how hot
Mm,
it is, so
yeah.
that was nice for sure. Um, and yeah, I think that's honestly really about it for my week. It's just been a lot of work. I played Last of Us 2 still, um, and getting more achievements in there. Still not done with my first story run through on Seattle Day 2 with Abby. But I'm also doing a lot of the no return stuff to get those achievements. So yeah, those take a while. I listened to a couple things this week. One, I listened to Blurryface Reborn, which we'll talk about. I also listened to the most reviewed thing of last week was American Heart by Benson Boone. Um, and I'm a real booner now. That's all I
Not
gotta say.
really.
Yeah, yeah, no. It was. I do think it's getting slightly overhated. Like, like right now it's sitting at like a 30 on album of the year, and like I also have it at a 39. So it's like it's not like I like it too much more, but I also don't think it's like I don't think it's like worst thing in the world. But
Yeah.
it like there's aspects of his music that are on that album because I only really know that album and Beautiful Things. Um, but there's aspects within his music that I think have potential, and I think like actually he could release legitimately good music at some point. But just like at the moment, it's very you know screechy at points and very bombastic and overproduced, but also some good production at points and some genuinely good lyrics and stuff at some points too. It's just like it's just too much of the wrong stuff. Is kind of what it feels like. But like it doesn't feel like a lost cause as an artist, but he's just got to kind of do a 180 in terms of he's got to do a backflip and away from this current image, I guess. But it not great. Would probably not listen to any of the songs from there again. But there's moments within where
Oh
it's like,
man.
yeah, there's moments within that's like, you know what? I see the vision. It could there could be a better version of this somewhere. But yeah. And then I also listened to Virgin by Lord, and I listened to it very late, and I was very tired already. And I don't know. I liked it, but I also definitely need more listens on it. I don't have too much to say. I like the production quite a bit. Um, Yeah, I will listen to it more. Very horny album, I can say that. She
Yeah.
she is not a virgin. But yeah, that's pretty much my week. Don't really got yeah, yeah, that's it for me.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Nothing too eventful. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with dull and boring.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And
but
want to do some? Or do you want to talk about the Lord album since I just talked about it? I know you said
sure.
you were gonna do
Yeah.
that later. Yeah.
Uh, it's good. I have like two and a half, or I have like 1.5 listens. I mean, but I listened this morning. Um, and it's good. It's very like sad. A lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely it's about an abusive relationship that she went through with some guy, and he seems like a real piece of work. I'll tell
Mm-hmm.
you what. But yeah, it's just a lot about like the story of her and like what she had, what went on in that relationship, how fucked up he was towards her, and then for me the album really picks up towards the middle. I wasn't really a big fan of the first few, other than Man of the Year, that one as a single as well, but
Mm-hmm.
it really starts to pick up for me as it goes on. The production is really cool, and then towards the end, she kind of just like she's um, she's learning to like be herself and find who she is
Mm-hmm.
rather than who she was in this abusive relationship, and it's a good message. It's a good story. Some of the lyrics are pretty sad and fucked up, but
Yeah.
um, it's good. I like it a lot. Uh, um, I don't know if it's like up there with my favorites of the year, but it's well produced, and she's got a couple good singing points, especially towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I and from I don't really remember my thoughts on her discography because a few years ago
Mm-hmm.
at this point. But I remember being just pretty okay with it for the most part, and it's probably up there. Um, with one of my favorites from her, even though she has 4 albums. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's good. I recommend it. It's just it's pretty sad. So
Yeah. Well, I guess that's. I mean, it makes me sound a little tone deaf, but I genuinely didn't pick up on the abusive aspect of it. Like I said, it was very late. Was not following lyrics super closely.
yeah.
I did catch it in like the last song,
Mhm.
but I think that's also maybe where it's the most in your face, possibly. But
Yeah.
yeah, but that's good to know for when I go back
Mhm.
into it, though. I yeah did not pick up on that.
It,
Yeah.
no, I definitely did pick up on it in the first listen through. It was the second listen through where I was starting to like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, this is fucked up.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, good album,
cool.
good Lord record.
Good lord. Good lord.
Good
Um,
Lord.
but yeah. And some other music news. Leve released a new track called
Ooh,
"Lover Girl." Did you listen to this?
I did not. I didn't see that with that.
Yeah, it's a great song. I mean, in a lot of ways, it really does kind of feel like from the start, part two. Like it feels like it's kind of doing the same thing a little bit, which sounds disappointing, but like the instrumental is like gorgeous. Like it's honestly probably her like best instrumental. Like the stuff that the orchestral like things that are happening throughout are just like really cool and they're different for her. And they have a lot of color and life to them in a way that's like, whoa, that it makes a song that would sound like a repeat. It makes it have its own life in a really cool way. So it's probably my favorite single from the upcoming album from her. So would recommend that one. Um,
Cool.
and
Gotta check that out.
yes. And our favorite artist that we talk about all the time also released a single, Young
Oh.
Gravy.
Mm.
He uh I saw this get posted to a story on Instagram. I'm like, oh boy, I don't want to listen to this, but I think I should. He released a song called "I Write Hymns, Not Tragedies." Um,
Jesus fucking Christ.
mm-hmm. and it was posted. Panic at the Disco posted it on their Instagram story, and I was like, "Why are they posting? You're dead." Um, and yeah, it's very bad. It's just a trap remix of "I Write Sins, Not Tragedies," with you know, terrible Young Gravy isms. We'll just put it that way. um, would not recommend, but unless it piques your interest, I guess. Um, uh,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. That's all I got for
Awesome.
basic news.
Uh, uh, AJR, another one of our favorite
Oh
artists,
yes, yeah.
is also they announced that they're releasing an EP
Mm-hmm.
uh, soon called "What No One's Thinking,"
Mm-hmm.
which interesting to release an EP this late into your
Yeah.
um, career, but we'll see. I haven't. They're they have the song first song off of it. Betty is coming out sometime. I haven't heard anything from it, but you know, uh, that's interesting. Hope it's better than anything they've released, but we'll see. Uh,
Yeah, I
you know,
mean, I don't know if it's the song Betty, but I've seen them teasing a couple songs, and it sounds very generic and boring, at least from the stuff that they were teasing. So I don't know. We'll see.
same old, same old.
Same. Well, I will say it didn't sound annoying, but it did sound very generic and boring. So
uh,
still same level of quality, just different reasons, I guess. I don't know.
and then you sent this to me yesterday, but it was
Oh yeah.
Caroline Polachek has a song in the new Death Stranding
Mm,
game, which is really cool.
yeah.
Um, and kind of Kojima just continues to be based.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, and I didn't listen to the full song, but from the clip that was like in like that post that I sent it, like her voice like matches cinematic atmosphere very well. Like it's very haunting and sounds
mhm,
super sick, and I'm assuming very fitting for Death Stranding as well.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. Um, but and then there was something I saw on I think I saw it on Twitter first, but it's from TikTok, and I don't know if it's rage bait or not. It definitely could be. But it was somebody talking about the "Here We Fucking Go" chant for
Mm-hmm.
trees, and
Trees by 21 Pilots for anyone just
trees by
tuning in.
21 Pilots. Yes, and they put, I'll send it in the
Oh,
general chat now so we
okay.
can read it together.
Oh, little read
But
along.
yes, but for listeners or blind people, we have so it's a Clancy Tor breach poster, and they say, "Hey, click. Can we not do the 'Here We effing go' chant during trees if they end with it at the October 8th show in Charlotte? I just want to see if we can actually change something. It seems disrespectful to the boys as they are playing a song with a deep meaning, and we just start yelling the F bomb at them. Maybe we could come up with," and then they go on and they talk about
Yeah.
just like different things that they could that you could chant. And one of the examples within the description like was like, it could be something like themed with the song, and it was like the hype, I can't believe the hype. And and I genuinely it feels like they're being real serious because of comment. And there are people like, they like the telling the creator that they like the 21 Pilots likes the chant. They like the "Here we fucking go" chant
Mm-hmm.
during trees. Tyler has been seen mouthing it. They
Mm-hmm.
talk about how much they like it.
He's
That
he started it a couple times too, like with
Yeah.
just with like here we, and then it'll cut out.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah, and it's like, they talked about like, oh well, they never swear in songs, uh and all this and that, but the comments were like, yeah, they like it and that's fine. And the creator was just like, and some people were like, I'm gonna chant it louder just for you. And the creator was like, that's nice, that's cool, yeah, uh-huh. And it's
hmm
like, it generally could be rage bait, but I just thought it was such a fucking silly
it's
recommendation.
it's either rage bait or like a 15-year-old
Yeah.
raised
Yeah.
in a Christian household. Um,
Yeah, and for Charlotte, North Carolina, it definitely could be,
yeah,
but
yeah. That I was gonna say that's my favorite part of that thing that you said is like specifically for this show that I'm going to. Can we not chant? Can we make a deal not to chant at this one?
I don't want my parents to think that I'm listening to things that contain swears when they take me to this
Yeah,
concert.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I thought that was funny. Just not really music news, but just like a little discourse, quote
yeah. No,
unquote.
entertaining for
Uh,
sure.
um, but then in other media news, the Bear season 4 dropped
Mm,
yesterday. I haven't gotten the chance to start it yet, but they did the same thing as last season, where it's where they dropped it all at once, binge model style.
mm,
Um, and I'm not a fan of that
yeah,
at all.
especially when you
Uh,
got to be watching Squid Game season 3.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. I've played these games before, and that is
exactly.
being being trapped between two shows and trying to pick which one to watch first.
Yeah,
Um,
watch them at the same time, and
oh,
Subway Surfers in the corner too.
I was gonna say, yeah. Um, but I don't like the binge model because like it's whereas when shows come out week by week, the conversation continues and people talk about it for
Yeah.
longer. But the binge model, like people watch it in like a day or a week, and then if you are behind and you don't watch it all within that time frame, or any discussion or discourse or anything.
Yeah.
Um, so it kind of sucks. But
Yeah, no, I
um,
completely agree.
yeah, but season 3 was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the first two. I'm hoping that season 4 is on par with those first couple, but it's still good acting, still good writing. I'm excited to dive into
I
that.
feel like they're kind of
Uh,
cranking out those seasons, right? I feel like it wasn't too long
they
ago
are.
you were talking about the end of season 3.
Yeah, it's been a season a year
Yeah.
for the past few. So
Yeah, I mean, in terms
um,
of popular shows, that doesn't always come around like that nowadays.
that is
So,
true. That is true.
I guess
And
there's not a huge CGI budget to the Bears. So,
that is true. Yeah. But Jeremy Allen White and Eben Moss Bacharach and Ayo Edebiri, like these people, they're
hmm
fucking amazing. Uh, and as well as John Bernthal once in a while, which is pretty cool.
hmm
Um, but
Actually, didn't know he was in that show.
and
That's cool.
yes, he plays Carmi's brother who killed himself.
Ah,
But so it's just flashbacks. But um, spoilers, I guess. But it's like right at the start of the fucking show.
yeah. I,
So
I assume
uh,
that was probably like a my brother killed himself or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's and then speaking of John Bernthal, it was revealed that the Punisher is going to be starring in the next Spider-Man movie,
Really?
which which is super fucking cool. Because that's someone who I don't think the Punisher's had movies, but I don't know if they've been theatrical releases or just straight to video.
hmm
Um, so is John Bernthal is sick and he plays the Punisher great, and especially with how they treated him in Daredevil Born Again with all the cops that have like the Punisher logo on them.
hmm
It's akin to real life and people running around with Blue Lives Matter Punisher skulls on their vehicles and shit.
hmm
Um, I definitely don't think that that rhetoric's going to be as prominent as it was for more adult audiences, as where the Spider-Man is Spider-Man, so they're probably not gonna really talk about it all that much. But
Yeah.
it's so cool to get that out there and put him in a big movie with Tom Holland and everything. I love John Bernthal, so
Yeah. Is he?
um,
Are they like? I mean, I know he's like an anti-hero, but like I'm guessing he's not like the bad guy, right? Like would they be like I mean, I,
no,
I know you don't know the plot, but like would they be like teaming up or like side by side or
uh, well, so I think they might be teaming up, but it's like a thing where it's kind of like how Daredevil and the Punisher, like Punisher's very like, I'm gonna fucking kill him,
Right.
and Daredevil's like, no, don't, God.
Hmm.
Spider-Man is it also doesn't kill, so it's like
Right.
I they're probably gonna be at odds for a little bit, but um I think that they'll have to team up for whatever big bad
Hmm.
is at the end.
And
And then it
Spider-Man's gonna be a
also,
murderous villain by the end of the movie.
yes, obviously, Tom Holland is gonna go nuts.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm interested in what that could mean for maybe Spider Daredevil next season
Mm.
because that'd be cool as hell.
Yeah.
Um, but that's pretty cool. Um, Death Stranding 2 came out, like I mentioned. I want it.
Mm.
Um,
Did you play the
Looks
first one?
cool. Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. 5 years ago it came out, which is kind of,
Damn.
but
Honestly, it doesn't
or
feel like it's
six
been that long.
probably.
Yeah.
Um, I will say Death Stranding is the only game that I fought while playing.
That you.
Um,
Sorry, you cut out there. What'd you say?
it's the only game where I've fallen asleep while playing it.
Yeah.
I remember I was playing it. It was probably like 9 p.m. or something. I had worked prior, and I think I was supposed to like go and meet my ex at work to like
Hmm.
walk her back to her car and like see her for a little while. But I was just playing Death Stranding, and it's a game where you like deliver packages across like a barren landscape.
Right.
And it's like it's relaxing. So I was just like, I was just sitting there on the couch, and then all of a sudden I fall asleep, and then I wake up, and Norman Reed is kind of like, "Hey man, what the fuck is going on?" And I look at my phone, and it's like 10, and I was like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
that's not good."
Yeah.
But otherwise, great game.
Raving reviews.
And yes, and Death Stranding 2 looks like crazy.
Yeah.
But like excited for that to play that at some point.
Sick.
Um, yeah, and then uh, Denis Villeneuve,
Hmm.
who has directed the past couple of Dune movies and Prisoners, which are some of my favorite. All three of those are some of my favorite movies like ever.
Mm.
Um, he is revealed to be the next director for James Bond,
Oh.
uh,
Oh.
which yeah, which could be fucking sick.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, yeah, which he's very kind of like, other than Prisoners, like the way he's been doing Dune is just like very sci-fi and stuff. So it's gonna be interesting to go back to do like a more grounded kind of spy thriller.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm down. I'm down to clown with that,
Yeah. And now
Mr.
we
Bond.
we just need to see who the Bond is, but
Yes.
Timothy Chalamet. uh,
I am James Bond.
yeah.
um, but it could be Tom Holland, could be
Oh God, there's actually probably a real possibility it's Tom
yeah.
Holland. I got nothing
I
against him.
saw.
It's just oversaturation.
Yeah, sure it is.
Pedro Pascal. That's James Bond.
That'd be hilarious. Um, but I mean, he's sexy, so I can see
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Um, and then I think I saw a tweet just before this that was like the people whose names have been thrown around. It was like Tom Holland, Jacob Elordi, who he's the very tall bully character from Euphoria,
Mm.
and also he was in like Saltburn uh and the Priscilla movie as Elvis, um, which I could see, but I don't know. He doesn't really scream James Bond to me. But then again, I don't think when Daniel Craig was announced, he was screaming James Bond to a lot of people
Yeah,
either.
he was a different interpretation, more grounded than the other ones.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Um, but I think we should just CGI bring back what's his face
Sean
Sean
Connery.
Connery.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just bring back the old heads.
Yeah. Get a
Um,
little AI voice filter on it, modernize it with the times.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be great. I'd be so down.
Yeah, I would support that wholeheartedly.
But no, that's really cool. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no, that's awesome.
yeah, and then in world news, Trump is an idiot.
End segment.
That segment, yeah.
Hmm.
Now, last Saturday, Sunday, maybe he decided to bomb Iran,
Hmm.
3 nuclear sites in Iran, because fear mongering and the worry of Iran creating a
Hmm.
missile, which not really wasn't really gonna happen anytime soon. But and also like he had been kind of talking about doing it, so it's very possible that they just like removed all of their nuclear stuff and drove it somewhere else. So he just bombed 3 empty buildings,
Hmm.
um, and also like he was told not to do that. Congress, he didn't go to Congress at all to like, declare that he was going to do that or anything, which not really allowed. But doesn't really matter because there was like articles of impeachment that were like brought up, but it was a major like flop, and there's no way that's happening,
Hmm.
especially since like 100+ Democrats voted no on that, um, which I don't understand at all, really.
Yeah.
Other than, I get it. I get the fact that like the first couple times it didn't do anything, and he really being impeached doesn't mean anything unless you're convicted or anything.
Hmm.
Um, so it's just like disheartening to see all these Democrats. They're like, oh, we're for the people, and you know we uh we disagree with all of these awful things that Trump does, and how his cabinet is the worst in the world and everything. And then like he does something awful, people bring up the articles of impeachment, and they go, I don't really feel like it.
Yep.
um and then they
Yeah.
also just like talk and talk about like, oh, it's bad, but then they do nothing about it. So it's like,
Yeah. It reminds me of uh, that conversation I had last night because when that guy started talking about how he's really into Trump and stuff like that, it was like, oh, you raised in a Democratic household, and I was like, yeah, yeah, that's my beliefs or whatever. And then he was like, so you're a Biden fan? And I was like, hell no, that is not what that means. But like, it reminds me of that just because like I Democratic politicians, man, like need to get their shit together. Like
yeah,
it's ridiculous that like this type of stuff is happening and like it's not being properly dealt with, I guess is what we'll say. um, yeah, I don't know, but like yeah, just
yeah.
hate politicians. They suck, all of
Me
them.
too. um but speaking of a politician that's not a career one that is doing good in New
Okay.
York,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Zoran Mamdani, who he kind of came out of nowhere. He joined the race for New York mayor like 8 months ago, as like the Democratic nominee, fighting against Andrew Cuomo, who's an awful fucking person and killed Schlatt's grandmother,
Of
and
course. Yep.
and assaulted like 13 women or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. He's awful and disgraced, and for some reason decided he was again, and people were probably gonna vote for him just because like he was the option.
Hmm.
But then Zoran came out of nowhere, and he's a socialist. He's a Muslim. He has great fucking ideals and is like really for the people. And whereas New York City's current mayor has like raised rent and raised bills and raised all the and grocery prices and all this, Zoran's like, I'm lowering all that. I'm putting a rent freeze on. I want to raise uh, um, minimum wage to $30 by 2030.
Damn.
He's like really, really for the people.
Yeah.
And for a while it was like, yeah, he's probably not going to win, but it's really cool to see somebody, um, especially since Andrew Cuomo is like a billionaire and he's funded by Trump billionaires. Um, so like his Andrew Cuomo's like marketing and everything was like, oh well, I'm cool and I'm everywhere, so you vote for me. But Zoran was like, he was going door to door. His supporters were going door to door. He raised like 30 million just with small donations, nothing from big corporations or anything. and the Democratic primary happened on Tuesday, and he won by he won that nomination by a landslide,
Mm.
pretty much. Andrew Cuomo, he was like, "Yep, lost, whatever. Wasn't the day for me."
Yeah.
Um, and the real mayoral election isn't until November, but apparently the current New York mayor is awful, so I think Zoran has a good chance of winning, which is like super cool.
Yeah.
um but with a socialist being being a front runner and a big person in politics, comes the racism
Oh
the
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
uh and there's one a GOP congressperson who uh requested that Trump have him deported, even though he's an American citizen and was
Mm.
born here. He wants like he wants him deported. People have been posting like, oh, he's Muslim, so I'm posting an AI picture of the Statue of Liberty covered up in a like a one of like the Muslim woman
Mm. Like a
hijab kind
hijab.
of
Yeah.
things. Uh-huh. And it's like, what? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene posted, and it's like, these people are fucking awful, obviously. Like that's been
Yeah.
yeah.
I I
Um
I always find it, I don't want to say entertaining, but like just once again, just examining the brain processes of these people is just
mhm.
morbidly fascinating sometimes. But like how, like you said, when they AI generate pictures of their dystopian future as like proof that things are going wrong. It's like it's so dumb.
Look at this real thing that's happening, guys. Come on.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Jesus is walking the streets of Maryland.
I,
Like, I don't.
I don't want to say to give them credit, but like I do think that they don't try to pass it off as real. They just try to pass it off as this is a real possibility of what's going to happen, which is still stupid.
I
Yeah,
mean, they try to pass it off as that, but then
yeah.
their supporters who are uneducated old white people
Well,
look at
that's
that and go,
true.
"Oh my god, look at those real things that are happening."
If it's like
Um,
Facebook, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Uh, but and I saw one that was like, 20 plus years ago on 9/11. After 9/11, we forget. Looks like we are starting to forget because of a Muslim man. Uh,
Wow. I don't think that's what never
yeah,
forget meant in the first place.
yeah. It's just Islamophobia.
Yeah,
And
Jesus.
yeah, it's awful. But I have high hopes for Zoran, and you know, he's a cool dude. So, but yeah,
Cool.
that's all the news I got.
Cool. Well, we should probably do a quick monthly roundup and then do our thing that our theme for this episode bracket.
Yes, yes.
Yes, 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 yes. How many? Do you know how many you got? I probably have
Um,
a few more than you. I would think.
Probably.
Yeah.
Uh, to uh, damn, I did not remember to do this.
You're good.
Uh,
If it helps, mine starts with
to
father figure. So
yeah. Mm, uh, I think I have um 5 or 6.
okay, cool. I have a decent bit, but my last ones I already talked about, so I will be very quick on those.
Mhm.
So, um, cool. First thing that I listened to this month was Father Figure by John Bellion. John Bellion's first album in 8 years, I think it was. And I think it's good. It takes a different approach. And I really love some of the songs on it. Some songs I'm still not huge on. I do think the best way to describe it is that I think it's missing some John Bellion magic that usually happens in some of his stuff. But there's great tracks on it, and I like the themes of being a present father in his kids' lives and the passion he has for his family and all that kind of stuff. And I think there's some interesting stuff going on it sometimes. But Yeah, some of my favorites on it are Father Figure and hold on, I don't have it pulled up. What's that song I really like? Wash. Father Figure, Wash, Italia Breeze, and Rich and Broke. And overall, I have it at like a decent to strong six. Not my favorite from him, but I do think there's great stuff there.
Yeah. That's also the first album I listened to in the month of June. Father Figure by John Bellion. I also think it's kind of missing that John Bellion kind of flair that has been present in all of his solo music. For me, it kind of feels like this record is just kind of showing off that like he produces big people's music. So it
Mm,
feels more like music for other people rather than his own kind of his magic, as he stated. Um, Other than like Wash, of course, Wash feels very John Bellion and very like in that bag, which I wished more of the album sounded like. But
mm,
um, the message of present fatherhood is great. I love that. It's across the whole record, and I've been picking at it since it's just like picking at certain songs to listen to since it came out, and my favorites have been Father Figure, Wash, My Boy is Good, um, Kid Again is fun, and I like Oblivious. It's not like his best song, but it's fun.
mm.
Um, but it's good. It's fine. Just was hoping for a little of of that John Bellion return to form a little bit. But I didn't dislike it, so I gave it a solid 7.
Cool. I don't dislike it either, just to be clear.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, cool. Next thing I listened to was Lotus by Little Sims. And it's definitely a very conceptual record from her. Very, I think I would even say her most like conscious and most looking inward. But it has a lot of interesting themes revolving around the situation of, her producer stealing $2 million from her, basically, and just the feelings of betrayal and feelings of losing yourself as an artist during that as well. I think there's a lot of great stuff going on the record, and then the production and music behind it is pretty good for the most part. I think the second half of the album in particular shines quite a bit, though. And yeah, I really enjoyed this record. Some of my favorites on it are Free, as well as Thief, and Lotus title track is great. And oh god, I keep forgetting. I think it's Lion is the one that I like quite a bit. And it has I forgot to mention this when we actually talked about it in the episode, but if it is Lion that I'm thinking of, it has the drummer from Black Midi. He plays drums on that track. It might be that one or it might be Enough. I don't know. It's been a sec since I've listened to the record. But yeah, no, I think it has. There's a lot of great stuff going on here, and it's up there with some of her strongest records. And I think yeah, I really enjoy it. So I have it at a decent to strong 8. Yeah.
Uh, that's also the next one I listened to,
Oh.
Lotus by Little Sims. And I haven't revisited it quite yet, but from that first like little listen session I had, it's great. I wasn't huge on the first few songs. I remember it kind of I was like, "Uh-oh," for how it started out, but as it went on, it really grew on me. She drew me in with her, her feelings of betrayal and anger towards her producer who stole
Mm,
all that money. And then there was like some really cool, like familial stuff on
mm,
Blood with her brother. And that was really cool as well. Like I said, I need more listens, but definitely like as it gets farther into the album, I was enjoying quite a bit more. It's like not up there with my favorites from her yet, but it's good and great, and I would listen to it more.
yeah.
But some of my favorites were Blood and the title track Lotus as well. Um, and I also liked I think I also liked Lion and Free, I believe, but
Mm.
I have it sitting at a solid 8.
Cool. Cool. All right. Next thing I listened to was Magic Alive by McKinley Dixon. Was one of the it was the most reviewed thing of that week, but also I kind of wanted, or wait, no, it wasn't. Never mind. I listened to this one on my own because it was very highly rated, and I really like the cover art on it too.
Mhm.
And went to listen to it, and it's a very lush album, like a lot of great colorful stuff going on here. It's got a lot of jazz influence, but you know it's hip hop though as well. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of strong hooks on here, a lot of strong performances, and I love how it feels like there's a live band behind him for like pretty much the whole thing. A lot of variances in the sounds in general too. And yeah, I think just the tracks in general are very strong on it, and it's one that I've had on repeat pretty much since it came out. And I think it's got great summer vibes to it too, so that really helps. And I think it's my favorite album of the year so far. So yeah, some of my favorites on here are We're Outside, Rejoice. I think oh god, Recit. Oh man, I don't even know how to say that. Recitative. I don't know if they say the name of that in the song. Recitative. I don't know. Sugar Water. And Listen Gently and Magic Alive. Yeah, a lot of great stuff on there. And it's just a really solid listen. So I don't really look at the track names a lot when I'm listening to it. So, but yeah, I really love that one. Had feeling a light 9 on that one.
Yeah, I definitely need to give that one a listen because
You
I like
should.
that one song.
Yeah.
Um, the next thing I listened to was Phantom Island by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I thought it was pretty cool. I think that the orchestral additions with the usual King Giz sound were pretty cool. I don't think it's like perfect or anything, and you know it. Um, but it hasn't really stuck with me, and I haven't returned to it. So you know, it kind of was in your out the other a little bit. But I still think it's really cool and impressive that they're able to come up with new ideas and do different kind of styles with how many fucking records they've had.
Mm-hmm.
Like 13 years that they've been releasing music. Um, it's just really cool, and I'll probably re-listen to it sometime soon just to like really get some solid thoughts and opinions on it. But I think it's cool, and they're talented, and yeah. But as it sits on my first listen, I have it like at 8.
Light 8, you said?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, next thing I listened to was Addison by Addison Ray. And honestly, not too bad of a record. It's in terms of you know, online influencers making music, you can go a lot worse than this record. And I think it's fine throughout. I mean, I only listened to it once, surprise, but there's a couple tracks that I have uh checked out like since then that have like shown up in like a playlist or something like that. I don't know. Like specifically Headphones On, the closer to the album, I think is a great song. And I think there's some other good stuff in there too, like High Fashion. I remember enjoying. And Diet Pepsi's all right too. But like really, just it's kind of one of those albums that it's like, yeah, it's good. Like there's not really much that's like, oh my god, that's the most fantastic thing I've ever heard. But there's also not really like any low points. It's all just like pretty consistently. Yeah, this is all right pop music. It's produced well. It's got good vibes to it. I think it was like kind of spacey production if I remember correctly. And interesting stuff going on, and her voice isn't too bad. So yeah, no, I enjoyed listening to that Addison Rae album. And I gave it a light 7. Cool.
Next thing I listened to, are we counting Blurryface Reborn or no?
You can if you want. I mean, I was just gonna kind of mention that I listened to it, but like
Yeah,
I might
I
not
listened
spoil my
to
thoughts on it yet.
it. Yeah, yeah, I listened to it. We'll talk about it with our tier list
Yeah,
here, but it's something.
it sure is Blurryface born again.
um, But yeah, I guess that's the next thing I listen to. If you want to go to your next one.
Yeah, okay. Next thing let's do is Phantom Island, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. With how much genre hopping they do, this is their first time really jumping into some orchestral type of chamber pop type sounds mixed with their psychedelic rock as always. And It's one that I think had a lot of potential to be better. Like I don't think it's a bad album by any means, but like it does when I listened to it quite a few times when it came out just because I really wanted to like it. But I do think it has a lot of um, kind of filler in the middle, and it doesn't feel like it's fully realized potential with orchestral type stuff. A lot of times it feels like an afterthought to the song, instead of like them kind of working together. But I just realized I said chamber pop. I meant to say baroque pop, but whatever. Semantics. But I do really like the singles on it still, and I think it starts and ends pretty strongly. So yeah, my favorites on it are Phantom Island, Dead Stick, Silent Spirit, and Grow Wings and Fly. Yeah, overall, I give it a strong 7. I think it's cool and it has a lot of cool stuff going for it, but it could have been a lot better. Yeah.
Next thing I listened to was "What's the Story? Morning Glory" by Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, put onto it by Mike the Snare. Thank you, Mike the Snare, for getting me into this 30-year-old album.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. It's really well done. I like the production on it. They're listed under Britpop, but it's not like super poppy. It's more. It definitely rocks more than it
Mm.
feels like pop. But
Is it super Brit
yeah,
though?
it's pretty British, I will
Mm.
say. Brit rock.
Yeah.
But Noel and Liam Gallagher, they make some good music, no matter how much they disagree with each other. Um,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's a good vibe. Like I said, it's very they are very inspired by the Beatles, and that's very evident in certain songs. There's some like cool psychedelic, uh, you know, um, like Sergeant Pepper, Magical Mystery Tour esque stuff. Not nearly as like weird,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it is. It's there and it's cool. Um, but it's just a really solid rock album, and I like it a lot. I might have to delve into their other stuff as well. But some of my favorites were "Don't Look Back in Anger," "Cast No Shadow," "Wonderwall," um, "Some Might Say," and "Morning Glory" and "Champagne Super." It's great album, and I would recommend it. It's good, and I
Cool.
have it at a decent 8.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, I probably should check that one out at some point. That one, and I think is it the one before that people like a lot too.
Yeah, their
Um,
first record.
yeah. Um, cool. And jumping right off of Oasis, next thing I listened to was Dopamine by Lil Tecca. And and it was an album that I surprisingly enjoyed. And I say surprisingly just because I don't really know anything about Lil Tecca, and also it's kind of in that like rage type stuff, but also trap as well. But I don't know. I did enjoy the record. I thought the beats on it were very cool all throughout. They had a lot of character to them. And even though Lil Tecca has like those super auto-tuned type vocals that you hear a lot in mainstream trap and that kind of stuff, I think there's something about it where like it kind of works with him, and like he writes like really great melodies with them over top the interesting beats, and like yeah, I don't know, it wasn't like anything that knocked my socks off, but I was like, this is probably the most interesting project I've heard in this lane so far. I know there's probably better ones out there, but like I enjoyed it. I thought it sounded kind of cool. I left it with positive feelings. So, yeah, I don't really have favorite tracks on it because I only listened to it once, but
Mhm.
I gave it a light 7 overall.
Mhm. Cool.
Cool.
And then the last thing I listened to, I already talked length, I guess, but Virgin by Lord. And I think as I listen to it more, it'll grow on me. But as it stands, I think it's pretty good, and I like it quite a bit. It's like I said, it's that story of like an abusive relationship that she explores throughout this is like it's like powerful but awful, and the lyrics are very like it's kind of hard to listen to, but it's interesting to kind of get an in on that story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just it's her going through a very personal and introspective moment, and I think that is that's pretty cool. And well, I'll say that the album is kind of short. I don't think it suffers from that at all. Um, people were complaining about it being shorter before it came out last week, and I was just like, give it time.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
I don't think
It's
it
definitely
felt
not
too
like
short either. I think it
no.
felt like a good length for an album. Yeah.
Me too. I like it, and it's I think it'll grow on me as I listen. But an interesting story. The end picks up with her, being finding herself, realizing who she is out of that terrible thing that she went through, and it's uplifting and powerful in that respect as well. Um, so I would check it out. The production's pretty cool. Like I said, she got some cool singing points at the towards the end of the album, but
Mm-hmm.
interesting story, cool record. Some of my favorites are "Man of the Year," "Clear Blue," which is the shortest song and has the lowest score, but I think it
Mm-hmm.
has really cool production points
Yeah.
leading out of it. Um, uh, "Broken Glass," "If She Could See Me Now," and I think I liked favorite daughter no current affairs as well. But yeah, good record. I have it at a late 8.
Cool. Yeah, next thing I listened to was Blurryface Reborn. And then I listened to American Heart by Benson Boone. Um, really, really great back to back with those two. And like I said, with Benson Boone, just I think there's potential there, but definitely not fully realized. And yeah, I kind of already went at length about it. But it's maybe slightly overhated. Just like I would probably say that about Beautiful Things as well. I think it's slightly overhated, but also I get it. And um, yeah, I don't really have like favorites on here, but I think the first two tracks, "Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else" and "Mr. Electric Blue," I think they're fine. They're whatever. But yeah, don't love this
What about
album.
Moonbeam?
What was that?
Moonbeam?
What is Moonbeam?
Moonbeam ice cream. What?
Oh, is that Mystical
What's all?
Magic? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That yeah. I mean I know everyone does, but I hate those interpolations that are happening nowadays. Um, uh yeah, I gave it a strong 3. And last thing I listened to was Virgin by Lord, but like I said, I really did not give this a proper listen, so I think I'm just going to include that in my next month one and talk more at length about it because uh I was kind of half asleep while listening, so um,
Fair.
and that was my fault. It wasn't the album's fault. Um, but yeah, cool. All right, want to get into the theme of this episode?
Yes, let's
All
do
right,
it.
let's do it.
Um,
So I can kind of intro if you want.
Alrighty.
Yeah, just so you can get pulled up. Oh, you already got it pulled up. Yeah,
What
you
does it say?
intro.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Oh,
you go.
so Blurryface Reborn is a 10-year anniversary album for Blurryface by 21 Pilots, with
Mhm.
every song covered by a different artist in their styling or whatever. And I'll say it now since we didn't talk about it in our roundup. I think a lot of it is boring and some of it is bad. Uh,
That's a good way to put it.
but there are a couple standouts that we'll talk about. But we're gonna rank these songs from I guess S to D because there's no F for some reason. But
Hmm.
um, S is the best, D is the worst. And we'll get into it. It's not in order, but we can go in order. Um,
Yeah, I think we should go in order.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
first song off of the record, Heavy Dirty Soul, covered by Bambi Thug.
Mm-hmm.
And what are your thoughts?
Um, well, it's one that I know. It's one that I know. Yeah, everything starts in S, and we'll figure it out from
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, it's one that I think. Well, a lot of people were giving hate to this one in particular. I was seeing actually. I think this is the reason I knew the record came out was because I saw someone
Mm,
say like, "What the hell was that Heavy Duty Soul cover or whatever?"
mm,
And like I get it. Like I don't love it honestly. But like I also think the production on it's kind of cool. Like I like it. I like kind of the EDM drum and bass type stuff that's going on. I think it has some fun energy to it. But the vocals are just not that great on it. And you know it is just saying the chorus over and over again, which is fine. I guess I view this one almost more as like a remix rather than like you know a I don't know if a cover is the right a tribute, I guess. I don't know. But like I don't know. I think it has some fun things to it, but like I'm not gonna sit here and like defend it super hard. um
I also, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think it's like the worst of the worst on the record, but it's definitely not up there with some of the ones that I actually like. I don't like that it is just like the chorus repeated over and over.
yeah,
But I do like the kind of EDM production stuff on it. It's fine, but it's like it's not great.
yeah. I would probably put
So
it like high C or something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm feeling that as well. And the next up, we have professional crowd wave enjoyers, AWOL Nation, covering "Stressed Out," 21
Hmm.
Pilots' biggest song. Um, and I think it's okay. I think that it's one of the more boring ones where it's just kind of AWOL Nation out, and it's like, it's fine. I've never really listened to AWOL, but from the stuff that I have heard, like Sail and that's about it. It's like,
Oh, don't forget the Vine meme. Run. Burr, 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 burr,
yeah,
burr.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
But Sail, maybe I should kill myself.
Yeah, yeah.
It's. I think this is just fine. It's just kind of boring. And it's just AWOL Nation singing "Stressed Out." There's nothing like really new brought to the table other than the fact that it's a different voice.
Mm.
Um, so not my favorite. It's fine. So I'd probably stick it at like a low B, but that's
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so this is my least favorite song on the record. Believe it or
Really?
not. Believe it or not. I think it's because I mean there's a few songs on here that like are very like faithful and like sound pretty similar to the original and don't really do too
Uh,
much. But this one does that, but also it has I really hate the vocals on this one. Like I really do not like whatever he did. And then like it sounds like he sings the chorus with a freaking Fortnite accent a little bit. He's like, "With we could turn back time." Like I don't know. I really don't like the way he sings throughout it. I think some of the instrumental stuff is okay. Like when it kind of gets a little heavier in the chorus, I think that sounds fine. But I really really do not like the vocals on this one. It's very distracting for me. So I mean, we can we can go see if
Split
you
the
want.
difference.
Yeah, split the difference. Yeah,
Yeah, that's. I guess I didn't notice that too much, but I think I was just like,
yeah,
oh, blinded by the fact that I know that artist's name, so I was like, okay, well, it's probably
yeah.
not that bad.
Yeah, I and I kind of go into this on like I reviewed this on Album of the Year because of course I fucking
Yeah.
did. But like the way I said it is like how I rated things is like how much I think it is like a tribute to the original song, like how
Hmm.
much it tributes it. And this one to me just I think it just sounded like the original but just worse in every single aspect. So
Yeah.
it wasn't even
Uh,
creative with anything. So I don't know. It just I don't like it.
that is very fair.
Yeah.
But up next we have Ride from
In
Arrows in
action.
Action.
Yes.
Which one is that? It's very small.
Yeah. I can't really read the anything on there, so I think it's right in the
Uh,
middle there, right next to the yellow haired person.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, I'm gonna remind myself what like you talk about.
Okay. This is another one that is pretty faithful to the original, but unlike the AWOL Nation one, I think it does some interesting stuff. Like it takes Ride and it makes it more pop punky, and it has a really good like heavier section, like when this normal song like does the drop or whatever, the Ride, they do like a little bit of a heavier drop there, and it has a little bit more of like emo inflection to it a bit, which I don't really mind. Um, and I think it's fine. Like it doesn't really blow me away. And I think some of the synth sound maybe a little not that great. But like it's all right. It doesn't really do anything too creative, but I do think it's fine for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, after like reminding myself and you saying that it's pop punk, I was reminded that I do like this one. I think that I like pop punk a lot,
Yeah.
and I think that the ride in that style is kind of cool. I'm pretty sure there were some pretty good screams at the end. I didn't
Oh
get that
yeah.
far.
Yeah, he does the
Um,
scream. Yeah.
yeah. But I also agree with kind of like that synthy thing that is in the first is in the original. But like it kind of sounds more like one of those like those beach in like they play that whatever instrument that's like the
Oh,
drum,
the steel drum. Yeah.
the steel drum, yeah. It kind of sounds like that a little bit.
Yeah, it does a little bit,
Um
doesn't it?
and I'm not big on that, but as a whole, I think this is pretty cool, a good tribute, and a good interpolation of Ride and like a pop punk. So,
Yeah.
I like it at A or
Yeah,
S or whatever you
yeah. I mean, I would probably say like light A for me personally, but
like. A.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, strong B, light A, something like that. But
yeah,
cool. Yeah, that's fine with me.
cool. All
All
right,
right,
and then
and then we get
you
fairly local, James Marriott, um, or Marriott, I don't know. Um,
the hotel guy,
yeah, hotel, yeah.
Marriott.
um, you want to give your thoughts first on this one? I gotta talk about the yeah.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of this one. I think I'm not. I do not like the effect on his voice, unless that's just his voice to make it lower.
Mm,
I'm not big on that, but I am a big fan of the way that it kind of like funks up the fairly local instrumental a little bit.
yeah.
It's pretty funky, and I was listening to it and I was like, ah, that's pretty fun. That's pretty. I like that. And I enjoy it. I think that it's pretty good. Um, it does something different, and I don't know what James Marriott or Marriott's music sounds like on its own. If it's like that, that's pretty cool,
Mm-hmm.
pretty funky. Uh, so, I like it. I think it's one of the better ones, to be honest. What do you?
Yeah, I don't think that's an effect on his voice. I think that is just his voice.
Oh,
You were saying it
okay.
making it deeper. I'm like, I think that yeah, that's just his voice. He's got a lower British voice. I agree though. I think instrumentally speaking, it is maybe the most interesting like switch up on the album. Like everything else, like they do. There's other songs that do interesting switch ups, but it's like kind of things where it's like, yeah, that makes sense that you would change it into that. This one is like a genuine like complete 180 in terms of the direction of the song, and I do think it's the instrumental as well. It's fun, it's dancey. It actually, in some of the ways, it's kind of like dance punky and kind of like a model actress way, just very sort of kind of. But I don't really love the vocals on this one. I just don't think he fits the song, he seems like he's a fine guy. I've heard some of his stuff in passing, but I don't know. I think it's fine. But it's not really my favorites. Just because the vocals sound a little strange, but the instrumental is cool. So I would probably put it at like a B. I don't know where you would
I can
put
do
it.
a high B.
Yeah,
I can do a high B.
cool.
All right, cool. And up next, we got "Tearing My Heart" by Aviva,
Mm-hmm.
or Aviva, however you want to say that. She feel this picture. I don't know if you know who K Nix is or Nix is, within like the Click
No, I
kind
don't
of
think I
fandom.
do.
She does like cool makeup and stuff, and that looks a lot like her.
Mm.
um, but it also just kind of feels stuck in like the late 2010s a
Yeah,
little
it
bit.
does feel like
Uh,
2016, 2017. Yeah.
um, uh, you can talk about what you feel about this one
Yeah.
first.
I actually really like this one. It's one of the few tracks that made me like really interested in like the artist behind it. I really like how I don't know I guess it is just one person since that picture is just one person. I think she develops the sound into like a rock sound like in a really cool way. Like I really like how the the banana banana banana. I like how she interprets that with like the heavier sections of it. I think her voice fits fairly well on it too. Good vocal stuff going on. The only part I don't really love is the bridge. I think the bridge just it feels disconnected from the rest of the track. But I don't know. I think it's produced well. I think the bass and drums and the guitars sound really nice. And I like how she messes with the structure of the song a little bit too by like getting rid of one of the measures in the chorus. Like I think it has a cool effect to it. That's you know I don't know. I enjoy this one quite a bit, me personally. But
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of harmless. I do like the kind of more rock styling, and her voice is pretty good. Um, but it's just kind of to me. Like it could go either way. Huge on
that's fair.
it. But I think it's okay. The I thought it was like the song starts with like hello in
Oh yeah,
Korean, and like kind of sounds like she's just like learning how to say it on
yeah.
from like yeah, on Google a little bit. She's like young I say yo.
Yeah.
Starts.
If I remember
Uh,
correctly, I think this one it doesn't have the strongest start or the strongest ending. I think this one just kind of like
yeah,
just stops. But I like everything in between. But yeah. I
yeah,
know what you
yeah.
mean.
But it's okay though. I don't hate it. It's not the worst. But it's fine. But I can go wherever you want to go.
I would personally feel kind of A on this one, but
Yeah,
yeah, like we could do light
yeah,
A. Yeah.
yeah. That's
Cool.
cool.
All
Um,
right. Then we got Lane Girl by Yoneka?
yeah.
Um,
Yonaka.
something like that. You want to talk about this one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fine. Like it's like not great. If I remember, like the rapping is kind of okay. Like it's not the worst. You know
Yeah.
it could have been, but just as a whole, it's just like as a tribute, like it's fine, I guess. But it's just like it's one of the boring ones in my
Hmm.
opinion. So, uh, I'm not huge on it. It would probably fall lower on the tiers for me,
Yeah.
to be honest.
That's fair. I think the funniest thing about this one to me is that they changed the lyric to "Lane Girl" instead of "Lane Boy," but they kept the part where she raps about her brother Zach. I think
Yeah.
that's just kind of funny to me. I do have similar feelings to you. I might be slightly more positive. I
Mhm.
like it is kind of boring. But I do like how they kind of it almost turns the chorus into like shoegaze, just like a little bit. Like I like how overly heavy the guitars sound and how like atmospheric they are and how the vocals are kind of coasting over top of them. I think it sounds cool. But I think the track also shows all of its cards by the time you're in the first verse. Like you already know how the entire song's gonna go by that point, and it's like a 4 minute track. So it does get boring pretty quick. I think I wish it did just more, I guess. I think there was cool like starts of ideas here, concepts of ideas, if you will.
It's
And but it's just yeah, it is a little bit whatever. I would probably put it in B. I don't know what you're feeling with it.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean that's fine.
yeah,
It's probably around there for me as well.
yeah,
It's just fine.
cool.
But yeah, and then up next we got The Judge by Vince. no
No
offensey,
offense. No offense.
no offense. Oh, no
Oh,
offense.
you
Okay.
know what? I didn't clock that till right now either. I wonder
I
if that's
see. I
his
see.
actual name or if he. There's no way. Maybe. Actually, I could definitely
I
see
don't know.
parents doing that. So I
Yeah.
don't know. um, I have mixed feelings on this one. There's parts
Yeah.
of it I really don't like, but there's also parts of it I really do like. Overall, it does have a little bit of like an AJR, maybe not fully AJR, but like artist inspired by AJR feel to it. You know what I mean? Like in some of like the vocal stuff. Like I really don't like how he processed like the na 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 like the way he has those like high pitched and shit. That sounds awful. But like everything else is like it's whatever. But I do want to say, the way he ends the song, like I want to say like the last 30 seconds or so, are actually genuinely very good. Like everything he does from like the bridge, like the I don't know if the song, that part to the end, like he does like a nice dynamic build there, and like the instrumental actually gets like pretty interesting as well with some cool synth stuff happening. But like I don't know, I don't think it all fully comes together because like I don't really like the first half, but I do like the ending of the song. So it's like a weird thing for me. So like I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I would probably put it like C range, but what do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty much the same. I really am not a big fan of the a lot of it.
Hmm.
It's like y'all, y'all,
Yeah,
that kind of yeah, and it's like it feels like singing in cursive kind of thing, like
yeah,
really. And I'm not a big fan of that at all. I do like the ending of it, um, as well. And I think that some of the other choices, but I also am not a big fan of the no na 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 na.
yeah, yeah,
The uh it's just it's yeah, it's okay. I'm also C feels about right.
yeah.
Maybe between over or between Bambi, do you think?
Slightly over.
All right.
I don't know. It's they're kind of similar quality to me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. But
but
all right. And the next up we got Doubt by Royal and the Serpent.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Serpentine. Yeah,
Serpentor. And yeah, it's fine. It's very whispery.
yeah,
Uh it's and and I, re-listening to it a little bit, I was just kind of like, some of the production is kind of cool, but it's just it kind of takes the energy out of it.
yeah.
And I'm already not huge on Doubt as a song in general.
Mm.
It's not really up there. It's definitely grown on me over the years, but this just kind of puts me back in that mindset of like, I don't, I don't really
Yeah.
fuck with it. Um, but I just think that it's quiet, it's laid back, and I don't think that really fits with Doubt as a song, and it kind of takes away the charm of it for me.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do like the vocoder type stuff happening here, like
Mhm.
basically just in the chorus. Like I like how it's choppy and I like how it sounds. Like I think it sounds interesting, but I think everything else doesn't really sound interesting to me on this one.
Yeah.
The way I described it, and I still stand by this, it really does sound like a Halsey song from like 2017 or something,
Mm.
for most of
Yeah.
it. And that thing you were talking about, look like the cursive talk or the cursive singing, I think she does that throughout this entire track, which I really am not huge on. Um, and yeah, I don't really love the vocals on this one aside from like the chorus. But I do agree though. It's just kind of boring, very derivative of other stuff, and just like not sticking out really in any significant way. Um, but I don't know. It's probably another one I'd throw in like C. I don't think it's terrible, but it's also, you know, yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Cool.
Um, yeah. And we go on to "We Don't Believe What's on TV" by Bears and Bears.
Bears in trees.
Bears in trees.
Also,
Yeah.
hold on. I might have done my own notes wrong.
Oh wait, no, I meant
Yeah, it's
Polarize. I meant
polarized. Yeah,
Polarize.
polarized. I was gonna say, did I do that wrong?
By
Um,
Dead Pony.
Polarized by Dead Pony. Um, I I've been seeing people like this one quite a bit. I don't like this one. It's not really my thing. It's very pop punk, and it has a lot of some decent energy to it. Like for instance, I'll the she kind of changes the bridge to like the I think I lost my halo, I think I lost myself, whatever. And I think that part sounds really cool. I think I do like that, but everything else I really don't. I think the biggest sin of this track is the I want to be a supermodel in the sun. I
Yeah.
really, really hate that. Like, it's just so tone deaf to the original song and like all that. Like, I get like wanting to change maybe being better brother, better son because of pronoun stuff or whatever, but like, why would you change it to that? It's so I don't like it, and I think that the way she does the chorus on this one is really annoying. I don't like I don't like it. Yeah, I'll just put it that.
No,
But
yeah, I don't like it either. I think just based on the wanted to be a supermodel in the sun, just off that, I was like, oh, this is good.
yeah,
And it wasn't. And like I said, I like pop punk, but the way that this was done, I'm not huge on. I mean, I like what you said you liked with like the. I think I lost my halo. I think I
yeah,
think that's pretty cool, but otherwise, it's just not cool.
yeah.
um,
Agreed.
and just does not fit that polarized kind of coolness, I think.
Yeah, I would put it a D. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
All
my
right.
yeah.
All right. The Bears and
The
Trees.
Bears.
We don't believe what's on TV. Um
Yeah.
this one's also kind of pop punk-y in a way.
Uh,
Not not really. It's just like the way in which like no, it's not pop punk. What am I thinking? It's like ska
Oh yeah, a
a little
little. I
bit.
could see ska. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say pop punk. I don't know about
Nah,
that one.
it's not punk punk. It's more like ska and the way that they like it's kind of like bouncy and it has those horns in it a little bit.
Yeah,
And I think that that interpolations of it is kind of cool. I'm already like not a huge fan of We Don't Believe What's on TV. But I think that this version of it is fun. I like it quite a bit. I think it's one of the better ones in my opinion, but it's pretty harmless.
yeah, I would agree. I think it's like it's like a cute interpretation, but like I don't mean that like in a degrading way. Like I think the
Uh,
way they do it is like really sweet. I mean this one has like legitimate like instrumentation on it, which is really nice to hear. Like they're like you were saying, the horns, like the trumpet parts all throughout are really nice. I'm pretty sure they bust out a damn clarinet in the second verse, kind of underlying it, which like I'm all for that. Um, and yeah, it's kind of we don't believe it's on TV, but very British, which is a little strange at first, but like honestly, I listened to this whole project like maybe 3 times or so. And this one grew quite a bit on me. I don't think it's like amazing, but I think it's just a nice, faithful adaptation of it. It kind of modernizes it a little bit, and it keeps the charm of the song. And there's also a little outro with like just trumpet and piano that's like really beautiful on the track. I think it's really sweet. I like it quite a bit. I would put it like A range, me personally.
yeah,
But yeah,
I like it a lot.
cool.
Um, yeah, and then we got Message Man by As December Falls. What are your thoughts on that one?
Um, this song to me was kind of like the definition of throw shit at the wall and sees what sticks. And then like not really that much stuck for me. There's a lot going on in this one, a lot of switch ups and stuff, but I think the song to me fails to have like a core sound to it. And it just kind of sounds like a lot of things at once. It just kind of feels like a mess. I do
Yeah.
think the rapping is better than most songs on this tribute album. I think she does all right
Oh,
with the rap verse, and then like the last like chorus has a good energy that's built into it. Like it got me bopping my head for a second, but I think for the most part the track it kind of fails to do anything for me. um, yeah, but what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of in a similar space. Whereas like 21 Pilots, they mix genres between like rap and alternative and rock and everything. And they can do it within the same song and pretty seamlessly. This one, like you said, it feels like they just threw a bunch of shit at the wall where they want to stick with their like, rock stylings, but they also want to go into that rap.
Mm-hmm. And
And
electronic too, yeah.
yeah, and it's kind of weird and it doesn't super work. But I do, her rapping is probably the best that the rapping has been across the across Reborn
Mm-hmm.
as of this song. And it's the last time we get rapping really, but and
Yeah.
it's um, but it's fine. I'm not a big like I said, just like the way in which the styles don't really mix all that much, but I think the rapping kind of brings it up a little bit, and Message Man is my favorite.
Mm.
It's cool to see it done in a different way, but like a lot of it wasn't like hitting the same
Yeah.
for me. So I'd probably put it like a B.
Yeah, I was thinking C, maybe even D-ish. But
Oh, okay.
up to you though.
I can
Could
do that.
probably
I can
like
do a
high
C.
C.
High C.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
shout out Orange.
Yeah.
Um,
Shadow Arm.
yeah. um, Next we got Hometown by Artio. I don't know. Artio
One of those.
sounds right to me. Um,
Yeah.
I really like this one.
Mm.
You probably saw my message that I sent to Vanessa the other day. But like I something about this one just kind of unleashes something in me. It gets really mathy, but it's also like math metal. Like just really syncopated like guitar stabs and drum stabs in there too. And I think the vocals sound great on it. And I don't know. I really like all the instrumental stuff they do on here too. I don't know. I just think this one works really really well. And like I don't know. I really like it. I really like this one. But I'm interested what you hear.
Yeah. This is definitely my favorite of these. The way in which they changed up the style really like elevates it for
Yeah.
me. I think that it's made really well. I love the production on it. The singing is really cool. It's just I like Hometown a lot, and maybe a little past the original. To
Mm.
be honest,
Yeah.
it's just cool, and I think it kind of adds a flair to it that it might have been missing
Yeah.
had it not been made. I like it a lot, and it's definitely my favorite off of Blurryface Reborn.
Hell
It's
yeah.
very cool.
Glad we agree on that. Yeah, that was something I also put in my album of the year review. I was like, it works just as good as the original. Dare I say better? Like it's really it's a really great creative take on the song that I
Yeah,
like a lot.
uh,
Yeah.
and I know that Hometown like is very near and dear to the hearts of a lot of people
Hmm.
within 21 Pilots fandom. Like people love this song, and I get it. I was never like huge into it. It's definitely grown on me.
Hmm.
But I don't know. There's something about this version of it that's just like really rocks. It's really
Yeah.
good.
The original Hometown, it's one of those songs where it's like I really like parts of it, but I also think parts of it sound super dated. Like it has an
Mhm.
EDM drop on it that sounds
Yeah.
like I like it, but like it doesn't hit the same as it did in 2015.
No, no.
But yeah, no, I think I really like that cover. So
Yeah,
hell
me
yeah.
too. Let's just keep it an S then. But up next, we got Not Today by the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Quite the mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine-ish.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Not today. Like Blurryface, there's a lot of songs on here where I'm just kind of like meh on most of the time, and Not Today is one of those.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever they did with it was gonna be probably just okay, just based on my feelings in the song already. And I kind of stick with that, but I also am not a big fan of the way it's kind of structured a little bit and the way that it's sung.
Yeah.
Um, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, I think, makes pop punk. uh, or used to, or what, I don't know what the fuck they do. I know they
Yeah.
had like one big song in the early 2000s, and they've been around, but um, but it's just fine. I don't love it. It's not like great. Yeah, I'm not huge on it. What do
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty similar. One of the things I put here is that this is probably the most forgettable song of these redo tracks, which is ironic because Not Today is probably the most forgettable song on Blurryface. I like it, but it is it is a little just like, yeah, it's the song right before Goner. But yeah, I mean, this one's just pretty boring. And the only thing about it that like I will probably remember is the verses of this song. They really feel like I'm not accusing them of using AI, but like it really does feel like when you put like if you're trying to make like an AI cover of a song or something and you put too many lyrics in the space of like a verse and it tries to like awkwardly fit all of them in there. The
Yeah,
verses really sound like that. Like it just sounds like way too long and extended and like super awkward and unnatural. It's really strange how they decided to do the verses on this one in particular, but it is just like it's boring. It's whatever. It's like C for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's more than fair, which was like kind of disappointing because
Hmm.
I read Jumpsuit Apparatus. I recognize that name. Oh, that's cool,
Yeah.
and but it's just it was meh.
Are you
So
feel are you feeling more like a B on that one?
no,
Oh, you
oh,
put you put them in B.
that's
Yeah.
oh
I,
okay.
I was a little
Oopsie,
surprised you put them there. I was like, okay.
I don't know how to read.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. That's why we listen to
Uh,
music on this channel.
exactly. I'm not writing book reports, and that's why I can't read my writing a lot of the time. So,
Yeah.
it's definitely not because I have terrible handwriting. But up last but not least, we have Goner by
By
As It
As It
Is.
Is. Yeah, sorry.
As It Is. Um, and I like it. I think it's good. I like the screaming at the end, especially. Screaming is really well done. Um, but Goner is a very like dude song until that end explosion, of course.
Hmm.
And I think that they do it pretty well from what I remember. I have to mention that it took me a few days to get through all of this, and
Hmm.
a lot of these I don't remember all that much. I did do like a quick listen through last night to remember all of it,
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
I I remember liking it for the most part. But the screaming was the best part at the end.
Mhm.
Um, but what are your thoughts on it? Since
Yeah, I mean,
listen to
I
it.
honestly, we're like slightly inverted on our feelings of it. I think it does really. I think it does a really good job at like the first parts of the track, like with the dynamic stuff going on, like with it being more stripped back. Like I really like the instrumental that they do for the quiet part. Like I just think all those sounds are really nice together and they have a good tone together. It does make Goner a little bit more emo in terms of some of the way he pronounces some of the stuff. I think the main one was like "you're inside out" or something like that. It's like oh boy, but like it's okay, it's fine. I just it's just a funny observation. Um,
Mhm.
and I do think the screaming at the end is good, and like the dynamic build to it is good. I just don't think it has that same like payoff that it does in the original song. But like it is good, and I think overall it's a really strong cover. I would say, and like I would say it's like the second strongest thing here, me personally. But we're if you're feeling more like a B or A or something, we can go there. I would probably put it low S, but um,
I'll keep it there just for you. How about that?
okay,
Um,
so kind.
uh, I think I remember like a good bit. I just
Yeah,
it's hard to remember. Um, but I do. Yeah, I agree with this. So
cool.
yeah, cool. Well, that's our tier list of Blurryface Reborn.
Sure is.
Uh, Mostly C's.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
High
but
Seas.
a couple S's, yeah, couple S's in there, and you should check at least those out.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, I think that
Um,
hometown one in particular is like
mhm,
a really great cover. I really like that one.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's Blurryface Reborn. Um, so we are about 2 hour or well an hour 40 into hour 50 into this podcast. So I think we are good to get into song of the week. What do you say, Colin?
I say that it's perfectly fine with me, sir.
Alrighty. Well, what song are you feeling for this hot week of the year?
All right. Well, I liked that Oasis album quite a bit.
Mm,
My favorite song there was this one, so I'm gonna go with "Cast No Shadow" by Oasis.
all right.
Surviving if we can. Surviving if we can.
All right, that was "Cast No Shadow" by Oasis. What did you think, Mike?
I thought it was a nice song. I really liked the strings and the chords and stuff going on there. I think the textures in general were very nice, and the
Mhm.
vocals were good too. Maybe slightly repetitive on that one, but I think
Yeah,
what it's repeating is a good thing. So it's not like the worst thing in the world. Obviously, I think that's a good song with a really solid vibe to it throughout. It's
yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. That one, I don't know, just stuck with me on the first couple. On the first, well, actually, on the first listen, I was like, I was just fine with it. It was a little repetitive to me, but
Hmm.
when I re-listened to it because I remember making parts of it, it really grew on me,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's just a nice vibe. I like the instrumental on it a lot, and whether it's Noel or Liam singing on it, I don't know which one it is.
Hmm.
It's they do a good job,
Yeah.
and while it's a little repetitive, it's good lyrics and good
Yeah.
vibes. So
Yeah, no, I think it's a really nice track. I like it quite a bit.
yeah,
Nice,
cool. Well, what
cool.
are you thinking?
Well, I didn't really listen to anything too much of note this week, so I've been keeping track of some potential songs of the week, like things that I missed throughout the year that I want to go back and highlight at some point. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a choose your own adventure here.
Ooh.
Do you want to do something that's super serene and super pleasant and nice, or something that's a very hardcore and kind of aggressive?
Do I want to completely switch up the vibe or go with something similar?
Yeah.
Uh, let's uh, let's switch up that vibe. Let's see what you got going.
Something harder is what you're saying?
Yeah,
All
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Well, one of the albums I enjoyed earlier this year, very online thing was Jane Remover. And she kind of does like hyper pop ish mixed with a lot of stuff. And I have some mixed thoughts on that album, some, but there's one song on there that I really enjoyed, and I haven't listened to it in a while, so this will be me listening to it again. But so I'm going to go with Psycho Boost by Jane Remover featuring Danny Brown. All right, that was Psycho Boost by Jane Remover featuring Danny Brown. What'd you think of that, Colin?
Nothing quite gets you can quite get you ready for hearing Danny Brown's voice.
That's kind of true.
But honestly, it has grown on me since Scaring the Hose. You know,
Hmm.
it's cool to see him here on a different. I don't really know what else he features on a lot of the time, but it's
He kind of goes everywhere
this.
recently. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I really like the vibe of this.
Hmm.
Really out of it's really out there and kind of wild, and adds a lot of um adds a real cool feeling. Just
Hmm.
it's real crazy, and I like it a lot. I might have to check the rest of that out as well. Put it on my list.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's definitely one that the internet nerds were loving this year, which, I
Mm.
am one. But yeah, no, I agree. It's a very crazy song, and that's kind of what I like about it. It's just it's so maximalist in a lot of ways. Like it's a very loud
Yeah.
song. Very you successfully switched up the vibe from the Oasis song.
Yeah.
But it's maximalist, but like it does like it's just really great. There's a lot of like bass moments on there that are just like so good. Like there's a lot of moments on the album actually where the bass just has like such a crazy production sound that I feel like I've never heard before. But yeah, no, the energy is high all throughout, and I like how much it switches up throughout. And Danny Brown sounds great on it all throughout too. So yeah, no, I it's a really notable song from earlier this year. So for me, but cool.
Very cool.
Alrighty. Well, unless you got anything else to add, we can probably do some wrapping up.
Yeah, I think we're all good to move on.
We're all to move on, but not quite yet, dear viewer. Don't move. Don't touch that dial now. We're just getting started. But yeah, if you're listening on streaming services, thank you very much. We love you to death. We really appreciate you. You should rate us 5 stars or whatever your capabilities are on your chosen streaming app. But you can also come on over to YouTube, where we're under the same name, Broken Boys, capital N, BOIS, where you can see our once again gloomy profile pictures, but it's okay because they're great pictures. Me of my EP that's coming out soon, and Colin of his favorite band that's dropping soon. My favorite band too, but yeah. You can come see those. But also we got a whole bunch of stuff in the description, which is what you can really see if you come on over to YouTube. One of those things being the Song of the Week playlists, that little segment that we just did, where we choose a song every week. Have been doing that since the inception of the podcast. We got 3 playlists down there. We got one for me, one for Colin, and one for both of us combined. And in those playlists, you can find Psycho Boost by Jane Remover, or the Oasis song, which was called
No Shadow.
Cast No Shadow. Thank you. Yeah, you can go see both of those in those playlists, along with a whole bunch of other stuff from throughout the years. Yeah, you should go check those out. We also have some personal stuff down there. For me, like I said, new EP coming soon, Cyclicism.
Yes.
Yes. You can catch up on your Plaintive Lore and also listen to the first single and the only single from the EP called Open Up. Out now, Spotify, Apple Music down there. Yeah, cool.
Do it.
Thanks.
Do it.
Yes. Yeah, I also have some other stuff too. I've got my Instagram down there, as well as my YouTube channel and my TikTok that I don't really use, and my album of the year page that I rate and review music over there. Got more in-depth thoughts on all that stuff we talked about today. My relation to you, dear viewer. Man, my mind is blank. Let's see. Well, it's been a very hot week this week, so we are at the community pool, and you are swimming. You're taking a nice little swim, and I'm like a little shark behind you. You don't. It's like the movie Jaws. I've never seen it, but I'm assuming at some point the shark swims behind someone who doesn't know that the shark is there, and that's me.
That's gotta be true.
Yeah, it's gotta be true. Have you ever seen Jaws?
Nope.
All right. Well, no one can tell us no, so that's me. But it's very hot outside too. That's important for the imagery of this soon to be love cage. And Colin over here, he runs our socials. He runs our Twitter page, where he updates everything that needs to be updated, as well as tells you when we post our videos. He lets you know firsthand. So you should go support that and be right on the front lines for the Broken Boys podcast. But he also runs our Instagram page and our TikTok page, where he posts little clips of us being goofy little doodads. Not two dads, but doodads. Yeah. So go check out those as well. Good clips over there. Good funny stuff. Go support him. And he also has some personal stuff you can support too. He also has an album of the year page where he rates and reviews music. But he also has a letterbox where he rates and reviews movies.
Yeah.
So you should go and check both of those out as well. And
Mm-hmm.
Colin, what is your relation to our dear viewer?
Yes, well, at the public pool,
Mm-hmm.
our dear viewers swimming, and me from my lifeguard tower as I've taken up a new
Oh,
profession.
nice.
I'm looking down from in front of our dear viewer, and I see a scary shark fin right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna blow my little whistle. I'm gonna dive into the water, and I'm gonna save our dear viewer from this impending shark attack. But what do you know? It's actually just Mike with a
Mm-hmm.
little shark fin on his back.
I really like Shark
And
Boy and Lava Girl. Yeah.
yeah, and me too.
Mm.
Taylor Lautner for the win.
Yeah.
Team Jacob all the way. But 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 yeah, I'm already holding our dear viewer away from the scary shark. But after we realize that it's Mike, I'm gonna go, Mike, and they're
Mm.
gonna go, wait, Mike? Does that mean like from the Broken Boys podcast? Definitely not a
Sure.
common name.
Yeah, surely there's no other Mikes or Michaels in the world.
No. And they don't have their glasses, so they can't see very well.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But they, from the sound of my voice, they interpreted the fact that it had to be Mike from the Broken Boys podcast, and thus that makes me Colin from the Broken Boys podcast.
Mhm.
And while we're in the pool, and we're gonna have a good time after this. I'm gonna get back on raised seat to overlook and keep the community safe.
Mhm.
But before this, our dear viewer is going to ask a one solid embrace. And what we're going to do is I'm going to hug our dear viewer from in front. Mike is
Mhm.
going to hug our dear viewer from behind. And we're going to be in this big old embrace while I look over the shoulder of our dear viewer at Mike. And
Mhm.
you're very red, so I'm gonna say put on some sunscreen. And by and how I'm gonna apply some sunscreen, because I have some of that, on my nose, like how
Uh-huh.
they do in the in movies and
Of
such.
course.
I'm gonna give you a little Eskimo kiss. Is probably not a great thing to say anymore, but
Mhm.
it's where it's the thing where you like rub your
Yeah,
noses
yeah, yeah.
with people. And that's the kind of kiss we're gonna get in our dear viewers' personal love cage. That's what we call that embrace. And if you would like your very own love cage, you must do is drop that address, your address in particular, in the comments below.
Mhm.
We'll find you. You won't know when, you won't know where, but we will find you and give you your very own cage. So drop that addy
Damn
and wait for
straight.
that love cage to arrive.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that
Yeah.
story would end with like classic mouth to mouth from the lifeguard for me, but
Not this time.
maybe next time.
It's too
I'm just
cliche.
gonna keep doing water related ones until it happens.
Next week, Mike squirts.